I will be back. Okay. Sorry about the delay. Hello? Yeah. Is that working? It's supposed to be two. 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 Why do I hear myself? Hello. 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 There we go. Okay. Always has to be some kind of problem, doesn't there? The trick is, it's like trying to put your hand and pick out a hot coal and fire. Well, of course it's gonna be hot, right? I mean, dumb if you didn't think it's gonna be hot. Point is, mind over matter. It's not minding that it's hot, right? Sometimes we go through stuff that annoy, downright just test us in our will. But that's how Tuesdays are. Mondays are alright. Mondays are alright. So, but yeah, one thing that I've kept, I just came across was I was cleaning up a little bit, right? You know, getting a puppets in the green screen, getting everything's where I can, you know, work and enjoy it. You know, without tripping over water. Maybe a trash can in here. That's the next thing. Square trash. Yeah, because I have a little one, but it's not after 3 bottles, I'm gonna empty it. You know, so whatever. Point is that I just wanted to say sometimes we take for granted what we can do, what we can't do, should do, we haven't done. But one thing that I've always liked, and you know, story time. Let's think of myself. Been bouncing around the idea. You let me know in the comments if it would be a good idea to introduce a Dr. Nerd sleeping hour. You know, pre-record something like, you know, his known logic and workings on how physics, well, not really physics, but the principles of the black hole. Or give a topic, you know. But tonight, Big After Dark, we're going to pick some stories out of this. If you know, you know. Tales of Beetle the Bard. And the one story, the first story, I should say, is The Wizard and the Hopping Pot. And I think that's, you know, if you're going to read a story, you should at least read the first, you know, the first story in a book. So, and I think it's a good idea to have a Dr. Nerd sleeping time hour. But yeah, tell me what you think. All right. So, for extra, I have reference. Okay. Wizard and the Hopping Pot. by J.K.L. Rowling. There once was a kindly old wizard who used his magic generously and wisely for the benefit of his neighbors. Rather than reveal the true source of his power, he pretended that his potions, charms, and antidotes sprang ready-made from the little cauldron he called his lucky cooking pot. For miles around, people came to him with their troubles, and the wizard was pleased to give his pot a stir and put things right. This well-beloved wizard lived to a goodly age and died, leaving all his chatters to his only son, Chattels. This son was a different disposition to his gentle father. Those who could not work magic were, to his son's mind, worthless, and he had often quarreled with his father's habit for dispensing magic to aid their neighbors. Upon the father's death, the son found hidden inside the old cooking pot a small package bearing his name. He opened it, hoping for gold. He found instead a soft, thick slipper, much too small to wear, and with no pair. A fragment of parchment within the slipper bore the words, "In the fond hope, my son, that you will never need it." The son cursed his father's softened mind and threw the slipper back into the cauldron, resolving to use it henceforth as a rubbish pot. That very night, a peasant woman knocked on the front door. "My granddaughter is afflicted by a crop of wolves, sir," she told him. "Your father used to mix a special poultice in that good old cooking pot." "Begone!" cried the son. "What care for I of your brat's wolves?" And he slammed the door in the woman's face. At once there came a loud clank and a banging from his kitchen. The wizard lit his wand and opened the door, and there, to his amazement, he saw his father's old cooking pot. It had sprouted a single foot of brass, and was hopping on the spot, in the middle of the floor, making a fearful noise upon the flagstones. The wizard approached, in wonder, but fell backward hurriedly when he saw the whole of the pot's surface was covered in warts. "Disgusting object!" he cried, and he tried firstly to vanish the pot, then to clean it by magic, and finally to force it out of the house. None of his spells worked, however, and he was unable to prevent the pot hopping after him out of the kitchen, and then following him up to the bed, clanging and banging loudly on every wooden stair. The wizard could not sleep all night for the banging of the worthy pot by his bedside, and the next morning the pot insisted upon hopping after him to the breakfast table. Clang, clang, clang went the brass-footed pot, and the wizard had not even started his porridge when came another knock on the door. An old man stood at the doorstep. "'Tis my old donkey, sir," he explained. "Lost she is, or stolen, and without her I cannot take my wares to market. and my family will go hungry tonight. And I am hungry now, roared the wizard. He slammed the door upon the old man. Clang, 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 went the cooking pot's single brass foot upon the floor. But now its clamor was mixed with the brays of a donkey and the human groans of hunger, echoing from the depths of the pot. Be still, be silent, shrieked the wizard. But not all his magical powers could quiet the wortly pot, which hopped at his heels all day, braying and groaning and clanging, no matter where he went or what he did. That evening came a third knock upon the door, and there on the threshold stood a young woman, sobbing as her heart would break. My baby is grievously ill, she said. Won't you please help us? Your father become if troubled. But the wizard slammed the door on her. And now the tormenting pot filled to the brim with salt water, and slopped tears all over the floor as it hopped, and brayed, and groaned, and yes, it sprouted more warts. I think so too. Thanks, Fancy. Though no more villagers came to seek help at the wizard's cottage for the rest of the week. Pot kept him informed of their many ills. Within a few days, it was not only braying and groaning and slopping and hopping and sprouting warts, it was also choking and retching, crying like a baby, whining like a dog, and spewing out bad cheese and sour milk, and a plague of hungry slugs. Well, if you look behind me, it's a vivid picture. The wizard could not sleep or eat with the pot besides him, but the pot refused to leave, and he could not silence it or force it to be still. At last, the wizard could bear it no more. Bring me all your problems, all your troubles, and all your woes, he screamed, fleeing into the night, with the pot hopping behind him along the road into the village. Come, let me cure you, mend you, and comfort you. I have my father's cooking pot, and I shall make you well. And a foul pot still bounding along beside him as he ran up the street, casting spells in every direction. Inside one house, the little girl's torch vanished as she slept. The lost donkey was summoned from a distant briar patch and set down softly in the stable. The sick baby was doused in dittany and woke and well and rosy. At every house of sickness and sorrow, the wizard did his best, and gradually the cooking pot beside him stopped groaning and wrenching and became quiet, shiny, and clean. Well, Pot? Asked the trembling wizard as the sun began to rise. The pot burped out the single slipper he had thrown into it, and permitted him to fit it onto the brass foot. Together they set off into the wizard's house. The pot's footsteps muffled at last, but from that day forward, the wizard helped the villagers like his father before him, lest the pot cast off its slipper and began to hop once more. I thought that was kind of cute. I like this. It's one of my favorites. I can go down the list and see what story you would like to hear. And that was the first one, after all. So, I will read them off. Comment. Let me make this a little bigger. The chat box, so I can see. Here. There we go. Yay. I got it. See? Hello. Hello there. Hello there. Or I could do the Witcher. Anyway. Wizard and the Hopping Pot. Number 1. The Fountain of the Fair Fortune. The Warlock's Hairy Heart. Babbity Rabbity and her cackling stump. The Tale of the Three Brothers. Yeah, that's all the stories that are in this one. So, any requests? Because I was going to read next Babbity Rabbity and her cackling stump. That's 111. And then what we'll do, there we go, put on a video. You know, I'm going to be making some more videos. And one, need a little help. Need to find some stupid superpowers. Okay? So, that's all I'm going to say on it. Stupid superpowers. And I need 9 of them. I have 1. All right. So, since there's no comments, I will read Babbity Rabbity and her cackling stump. I don't know if there's a... Let me see if there's a Babbity. Yeah. Love this. Yes. Okay, let's see if it'll go with. We'll go with the story. So let me rewind it. So it's for the title. Babbity Rabbity and her cackling stump. A long time ago, far off land, lived a foolish king who decided that he alone should have the power of magic. He therefore commanded his head of his army to form a brigade of witch hunters and issued them with a pack of ferocious black hounds. At the same time, the king caused proclamations to be read in every village and town across the land, wanted by the king, an instructor in magic. No true witch or wizard dared volunteer for the post, for they were all in hiding from the brigade of witch hunters. However, a cunning charlatan with no magical powers saw a chance of enriching himself and arrived at the palace, claiming to be a wizard of enormous skill. The charlatan performed a few simple tricks which convinced the foolish king of his magical powers, and he was immediately appointed grand sorcerer and the chief of King's private magic master. That's a tongue twister. The charlatan bade the king give him a large sack of gold, so that he might purchase wands and other magical necessities. He also requested several large rubies to be used in the casting of curvature charms, creative charms, and a silver chalice or two for the storing and maturing of potions. All these things the foolish king supplied. The charlatan stowed the treasure safely in his own house and returned to the palace grounds. He did not know where he was being watched by an old woman who lived in the hovel on the edge of the grounds. Her name was Babbity, and she was the washerwoman who kept the palace linen soft, fragrant, and white. Peeping from behind her drying sheets, Babbity saw the charlatan snap 2 twigs from one of the king's trees and disappear into the palace. The charlatan gave one of the twigs to the king and assured him that it was a wand and tremendous power. It will only work, however, he said the charlatan, when you are worthy of it. Every morning the charlatan and the foolish king walked out to the palace grounds, where they waved their wands and shouted nonsense at the sky. The charlatan was careful to perform more tricks so that the king remained convinced of his grand sorcerer's skill and the power of the wands that he had cost so much gold. One morning, as the charlatan and the foolish king were twirling their twigs and hopping in circles and chanting meaningless rhymes, a loud cackling reached the king's ears. Babbity, the washerwoman, was watching the king and the charlatan from the window of her tiny cottage, and she was laughing so hard she soon sank out of sight, too weak to stand. I must look most undignified to make the old washerwoman laugh so, said the king. He ceased his hopping and twig twirling and frowned. I grow weary of your practice. When I be ready to perform real spells in front of my subjects, sorcerer. The charlatan tried to soothe his pupil, assuring him that he would soon be capable of astonishing feats of magic, but Babbity's cackling had stung the foolish king more than a charlatan knew. Tomorrow, said the king, we shall invite our court to watch their king perform magic. The charlatan saw that the time had come to take his treasures and flee. Alas, your majesty, it is impossible. I have forgotten to tell you, your majesty, that I must set out for a long journey tomorrow. If you leave this palace without my permission, sorcerer, my brigade of witch hunters will hunt you down with their hounds. Tomorrow morning you will assist me to perform magic for the benefit of my lords and ladies, and if anybody laughs at me, I shall have you beheaded. The king stormed back to the palace, leaving the charlatan alone and afraid. Not all his cunning could save him now, for he could neither run away, nor could he help the king with his magic that neither of them knew. Seeking a vent for his fear and his anger, the charlatan approached the widow of Babbity, the washerwoman. Peering inside, he saw the little old lady sitting at her table, polishing a wand. In the corner behind her, the king's sheets were washing themselves in a wooden tub. The charlatan understood at once that Babbity was a true witch, and that she who had given him his awful problem could also solve it. Crone, roared the charlatan. Your cackling has cost me dear, and if you fail to help me, I shall denounce you as a witch, and it will be you who is torn apart by the king's hounds. Old Babbity smiled at the charlatan and assured him that she would do everything in her power to help. Charlatan instructed her to conceal herself inside a bush, while the king gave his magical display and to perform the king's spells for him without his knowledge. Babbity agreed to the plan, but asked him one question. What, sir, if the king attempts to spell Babbity cannot perform? The charlatan scoffed. Your magic is more than equal to that fool's imagination, he assured her, and he retired to the castle, well pleased with his own cleverness. The following morning, all the lords and ladies of the kingdom assembled in the palace grounds. The king climbed onto the stage in front of them, with the charlatan by his side. I shall firstly make this lady's hat disappear, cried the king, pointing his twig at the noblewoman from from inside the bush nearby. Babbity pointed her wand at the hat and caused it to vanish. Great was the astonishment and admiration of the crowd, and loud their applause for the jubilant king. Next I shall make the horse fly, cried the king, pointing his twig at his own steed. From inside the bush, Babbity pointed her wand at the horse, and it rose high into the air. The crowd was still more thrilled and amazed, and they roared their appreciation of their magical king. And now the king, looking all around for an idea, and the captain of his brigade of the witch hunters ran forward. Your Majesty, said the captain, this very morning Sabir died of eating a poisonous toadstool. Bring him back to life, Your Majesty, with your wand. And the captain heaved into the stage the lifeless body of the largest of the witch hunting hounds. I think we know where this is going, but I'm no man of spoilers. The foolish king brandished his twig and pointed at the dead dog, but inside the bush, Babbity smiled and didn't not trouble to lift her wand, for no magic can raise the dead. When the dog did not stir, the crowd began to whisper, first to whisper and then to laugh. They suspected that the king's first 2 feats had been mere tricks after all. Why doesn't it work? The king screamed at the charlatan, who betrothed himself for the only ruse left to him. There, Your Majesty, there, he shouted, pointing at the bush where the Babbity had sat concealed. I see her playing a wicked witch who is blocking your magic with her own evil spells. Seize her, somebody, seize her. Babbity fled from the bush, and then the brigade of witch hunters set off in pursuit, unleashing their hounds to bayed for Babbity's blood. But as she reached the low hedge, the little witch vanished from sight, and when the king and charlatan and the courtiers gained on the other side, they found a pack of witch-hunting hounds barking and scrapping around a bent and aged tree. She has turned herself into a tree, screamed the charlatan, dreading lest Babbity turn back into a woman. Yeah, I know. Hold on. Skip. No, we're not ready for that. Stop, you stupid machine. What are you think you're doing? You are my command. Thank you very much. Now you stay put like a good little dog. Alright. Where was I? Sorry, I was rudely interrupted. She has turned herself into a tree, screamed the charlatan, dreading lest Babbity turn back into a woman and denounce him. He added, cut her down, Your Majesty. That is the way to treat evil witches. An axe was brought at once, and the old tree fell to loud cheers from the courtiers and the charlatan. However, as they were making ready to return to the palace, the sound of loud cackling stopped them in their tracks. "Fools!" cried Babbity, his voice from the stump they had left behind. "No witch or wizard can be killed by being cut in half. Take your axe if you do not believe me, and cut the grand sorcerer in two." The captain of the brigade of witch hunters was eager. I bet to make this happen. Eager experiment. But as he raised his axe, Charlton fell to his knees, screaming for mercy and confessing all his wickedness. As he was dragged away into the dungeons, the tree stump cackled louder than ever. "By cutting a witch in half, you have unleashed a dreadful curse upon your kingdom. I told the petrified king, henceforth every stroke of harm that you inflict upon my fellow witches and wizards will feel like an axe stroke in your own side, until you wish you could die of it." At that, the king fell to his knees too, and told the stump that he would issue a proclamation at once protecting all the witches and wizards of the kingdom, and allowing them to practice their magic in peace. "Very good," said the stump, "but you have not yet made amends to Babbity." Anything at all," cried the foolish king, wringing his hands before the stump. That's good, man. "You will erect a statue of Babbity upon me, in memory of your poor washerwoman, and to remind you ever of your own foolishness," said the stump. The king agreed to it at once, and promised to engage the forest sculptor in the land and have the statue made of pure gold. And the shamed king and all the noblemen and women returned to the palace, leaving the tree stump cackling behind them. When the grounds were deserted once more, there wriggled from the hole between the roots of the tree stump a stout, whiskery old rabbit with a wand clamped between her teeth. Babbity hopped out of the grounds and far away, and ever after a golden statue of the washerwoman stood upon the tree stump, and no witch or wizard was ever persecuted in the kingdom again. That's nice. I like that. And to make sure that we'll bring it out again. I have my own little carrying case for it. Keep it nice and safe. Unless you just want to hear another one. But what we'll do is we will see what Fig has to offer. And I know we really haven't done much of magic or anything like that. We should. But we haven't, because the thing is, magic really is just misunderstood science. I mean, take a lighter, for instance. Back when you needed to strike rocks together to make a fire, if you bring out that, you were instantly God, right? You knew magic how to summon fire. So really, it's just technology. I love that analogy. Thanksgiving thing. Okay. All right. Well, being this is like a kind of thankful for being not such a bad day as it could have been. Oh, I guess we can watch the Thanksgiving with the thing. This is really hard to do. This was, let me tell you, when you see this, when you watch this episode, you're gonna see this. I got a little bit of time left. I'm pretty sure this one doesn't have a game in the beginning. I think this is when I was starting to phase out the games and make it just a pure puppet show, because like the Fig's going to be playing some games here soon. Yeah, he asked me, and I said, okay. Well, it doesn't break anything or try to make any sour candy. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Thanksgiving with Fig. Oh, I gotta. I want to ruin it for you. Yep.
Way too slick, I'll beat this boss, just one more click. Tiberius Rex with the news so proud. Ozzy's out there chasing the crowd away. Oh wait, they clash too loud. Fakey plays the games all day. Star jump high, hooray, hooray. While Dr. Nerd and Mr. Racist say, let's make a boom the science way. Double peanut sums on in. Big boss elephant with a wiggle grin, quiet down folks. We're live on air. Fig, save the princess if you dare.
Yeah. And you say the check's in the mail, right?
They cloud. Fakey plays the games all day. Press star, jump high, hooray, hooray. While Dr. Nerd and Mr. Racist say, let's make a boom the science way. Double peanut sums on in. Big boss elephant with a wiggle grin, quiet down folks. We're live on air. Fig, save the princess if you dare.
Is that right? All right.
Yeah. And you say the check's in the mail, right? Yeah, I know, that stuff is expensive. Well, okay, I gotta go. Alright. Love you too, and thanks for not reversing the charges. Mm-hmm. Oh! Hi! Yeah, I was just talking to my grandma. She was over for Thanksgiving? Yeah. What a treat. She always brings over gifts. Spoils me, she says, "You're the fluffiest rat in the family." Mm-hmm. She's always trying to give me milk and cookies. She's like, "Where's your stove?" And I'm like, I'm not allowed near the stove because it has fire. And she's like, "Where's your dad? I'm gonna make cookies." And yeah, she helped. My dad makes all the meats. That's what I think of that. It's so good. It's like, mwah! And you make the best beef jerky out of it. Next to the sweet potatoes and the corn. And my mom's grandma, my great grandma, she calls it maize. Like, what a silly name. That's the Indian name for corn. Mm-hmm. And maybe that's why they have corn mazes. Huh? Mm. Maybe because the Indian name is maize, and they make a maize in the cornfield. Yeah. I like mazes. I try to do one all the time. Try to find the cheese at the middle of the puzzle. Mm-hmm. And, well, during Thanksgiving, one thing I don't really like, but it's alright, I guess, is the cranberry sauce. Yeah. Yeah. It's like gelatinous, and I don't know how to describe it. It's just blah. I really like it. But the turkey was great. Now my dad takes 2 days making the turkey. Could you imagine if you left it in the oven and forgot about it? Ah, yeah. Well, that makes me wonder. Why do we always eat the same thing on Thanksgiving? You notice that? Everybody has a little bit different. You know, some people have okra. Some people have sweet potatoes. Some people have stuffing. Some people have rice. But there's always one meat. One meat that always we have. And that's turkey. I wonder, why do we have turkey? I mean, why not ham? Or roast? Or pigeon? Slug? Why turkey?
Yes, we eat turkey on Thanksgiving because it is a large, plentiful bird native to North America. This bird is big enough to feed a whole family, and it became a celebratory staple through historical events and popularization. Factors like its particularity for large feast, it's associated with New England celebrations, and later its mass domestication and affordability cemented its place at the center of the holiday meal. Wild turkeys were abundant in North America, and making them a common and practical food source for large gatherings. Unlike animals used for eggs or milk, turkeys were primarily raised for meat, making them a suitable choice for a special occasion meal. While the exact menu of the first Thanksgiving is debated, turkey was likely on the table, alongside venison and waterfowl. Over time, turkey became a popular choice for celebratory meals, particularly in the 1800s. It was featured in the popular writings of Sarah Josepha Hale, who campaigned to make Thanksgiving a national holiday. President Lincoln declared Thanksgiving a national holiday in 1863. The image of a turkey at the center of a feast had already taken root. By the time the holiday was officially established, turkey farming was widespread, and the birds were affordable enough to be the standard for holiday meals across the country. The size of the turkey made a centerpiece for a holiday feast meant to feed many people, and the time-consuming cooking process was suited to the holiday wear. Oh look, welcome back, Mr. Rhesus.
Boy, fresh meat sounds good.
There is more to the tradition than just food.
Like what? The adults taking over the best spots in the house?
Well, it's the togetherness that we all share by coming together around the table for a feast with friends and family.
Oh yeah, kinda like my Aunt Peru burping her colostomy bag at the dinner table. Talk about eye-watering. Oh, that reminds me, I want to help. My mom never let me help ever since I ate the stuffing before I went into the bird.
Well, I guess you could pair up with Venus. Ironically, she had the same idea. Yes, Venus is over there in the hutch by the pothos.
Right, I'm gonna be the first one there.
It's not a race. Anyway, I have pudding with my name on it.
Boy, it sure was nice of Venus to draw me a bath. Yes, Paul! Don't be startled. Whoa. Yeah, well, your plan worked. Of course it did. Just how the doctor wanted to help. Yeah? What's at the bath. I'm just trying out my new line of biodegradable pots. I have no idea what that means. Well, I'll check back on you in about 45 to 50 minutes. Oh, alright. We can get started, right? Yes. Oh, it sure is warm. What was that? When did the turkey get in here? I have to go to the bathroom. Hey!
Yeah! It's that time of year again. And ever since last time, the guys were really receptive to my gifts. I heard from the grapevine. The furry told me. I have to thank him later. Anyway, that's why we got a turkey and we got the fixins. I left it up to Kuda. He's the chef after all. So I threw together a little gag. I told him to go out and get some groceries and make it happen. I think they're really happy. I'll go down there later and check how it's going. Trash, trash, trash. Oh, hi, Glover. You here to collect the trash? Yeah, go ahead. There's not much in there. Paper airplanes and Chinese footballs. Anyway, yeah, it's great to have this show. And I'm really thankful for the guys. It's my appreciation, so I think we're gonna treat them right. Now, if only I could get something else on my television.
Yes, 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 yes. You seem to be happy. Yes. Why wouldn't I be? You're sitting in a high chair, which raises the question, why am I at the kiddie table? You're just jealous because this is the only seat in the house of its kind, and I am sitting in it. What about the recliner? Everybody knows when I am in the living room, that is mine too. Yeah, any minute now, and we shall have a feast. Oh. Hi. How are you here? What do you mean? No, stop. Your bath? Oh, yeah. I had to go to the bathroom, and the turkey broke in. One thing led to another, and it ended up heating my spot. But when I came back, he didn't want to get out. Actually, he didn't move at all. So I just went and did other things. When's dinner? Man, I'm really getting peckish. I wonder what's taking so long. Yes, yes. I wonder what's taking myself. Let me go find out from the kitchen staff.
Every time it gets more steps.
Chop, 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 all day long. Chop, 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 while I sing this song. Gonna take that orange, gonna make it shine. Gonna make some glaze using turpentine. Yeah, man. Creating's fun.
Hey, Gouda! What is taking so long?
Oh, hi, man.
I want to start eating the corn. My favorite.
Yeah. I made some corn maze. Yeah. That was really easy.
Hey, man. It's right in front of you. I don't see no delicious yellow kernels. It's right in front of you. Sacre bleu. Yes, well, what other things do you have to sample taste test? Here you go, man. What even is that creature? I took your advice, man, and I made my own recipe. That's cranberry sauce. I just remembered I am allergic to cranberries. So let's say pass for me. I hear something about the bird is almost done.
Well, man. Turkey's been done, I guess. And get my trusty, rusty knife. There we go. Oh my.
What in the world has happened to it? Ah, well, I guess I was not that very hungry anyways. Did you say, I told you for the air fryer 3 to 4 hours?
I thought you meant Dave.
Yeah! So I guess I'm gonna go down and join everyone for the Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah! I just hope it's not like last time when I went out to eat. I used my broccoli like trees in my mashed potatoes, and I used my spoon for a gravy river. Yeah! Until I looked up and realized all the stockholders were looking at me. And I realized I wasn't at my mom's house. But at least this time's gonna be different. Guys really respect me. They don't ever say anything bad. And I know they enjoy their job because they show up every day. Especially Ozzy. Well, I guess that means I'm gonna go down. So, have a good one and enjoy the show.
Wow! Did you see that? Talk about being burnt. Wow. Yeah, it looks like the sun came out. That's good. I might actually go outside a little bit. I got my jacket on, my sweater, my shoes, my knee pads, my helmet, gloves. Yeah. One time I slipped on the ice, and that really hurt. Slipped on, I hurt my hand. Yeah, maybe that's because a couple things. Yeah. You know, it's time to get, almost time for snow shoveling. We got a little bit of snow on the ground. And here it was a day or so ago, we had a whole bunch of snow. Not a lot. Not so much to go sledding, or even to make snowballs, or have fun. It was wet, it was cold, and it was heavy. See, the snow has a lot of water in it and it's too warm, so it gets heavy. Water is about 2 or 3 pounds per gallon. Yeah, so it makes it heavy. If you add something to it, it changes the molecular density. It becomes heavy. Or if it becomes gas, it's lighter. Now, maybe I could do a show about that. But yeah, now, my dad said that we are running a contest. We're trying to get 100 subscribers. 100. And if we get 100, then we'll take all of our subscribers, put them in the big basket, and pick one of them. Remember, you have to be subscribed, and it has to be visible. On our website, go to JEStudios Creative. That's JEStudios Creative. Yeah. See, how it's gonna work is you share the video with your friends, friends share with their friends. Just like if Guillermo shared with Yellow Bear, and then Yellow Bear shared it with Dolphin, and then Squid, and me, but I'm the one that sent it out, so it doesn't count for me. The friends that are included aren't available to me. Family members. But, yeah. Anybody related to the business is not a win. It means me. So even if I put my name in, I won't win. Guillermo! Well, he doesn't know how to write, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, if for some reason, my dad said, for some reason, we get 200 subscribers, that's a $200 gift card. And I don't know if we could do 300 because I'm not really confident that get that many in a short time. Unless it goes viral. But to go viral, we need everybody's help. And, well, not everybody likes. They just like to swipe and look at their zombie devices. What was that? Anyway. Yeah, so that's the contest. And if you want to join, you can follow us on Facebook, Fig the Man, or Fig Newton. All the information is on the website. Go to the website, you subscribe, join, follow, subscribe, and then say hi through Messenger. That way we know. I know that you did your job. And for those watching this right now, the screaming party, there's a $25 gift card. It's a separate contest if you can find.
Yep, that promotion ended. So, where did it go? There. So, what we're going to do is we're going to leave you with the for tonight. Alright, is it careless still? Because it will have to. So, share with your friends and maybe you'll get a laugh. Could be some content, but we are working on new episodes. Hopefully, the next episode is going to be Fig Goes Underground. And the only thing I can tell you is the next episode is going to be titled something like Super Powers. Yet to be determined. But, like I said, I have one stupid power. I need 8 more. So if y'all can help in the stupid powers area, I'll put together a story. So it's a YouTube at thing. Actually, it'd be easier if I just put it in the chat. Sub. And I'll give you all the information. And then, yep. And then this one will give you the other part of it. So feel free. If you go to JEStudios Creative.com, you can create your own, like a little homepage in there. Call it your own. We're always kind of working on it, you know, like Fraggle Rock and can't think of all people who made all the clear structures out of radishes. You know, but yeah. Oh, thanks, Nancy. Yep, there's your information and share it with your friends. We did change the conditions, but I am willing to keep the conditions of the video that if we do get 100, not 100, gift card, to give this a lucky subscriber of the show. So if we happen to hit 200, yeah, I was prepared to get $200 gift card. But let's see what we'll do with getting to the first crest. It's always good to plan ahead and never put all your eggs in one basket. Don't know what that means. Ask your elders. But for now, we will bring it to a close. And Thursday, I plan on bringing the suit back and doing the story time. We'll read another story. So, until then, have a good night. Dream well.